All right, I'm starting the recording.
Got cash? I'll take them. I'll take them.
It is 6 o'clock on April 17th. And I'm going to declare the planning commission meeting come to order. We have a roll call, please.
Chair Solon.
Here.
Vice Chair Benyon.
Here.
Commissioner Dahl.
Here.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Here.
Commissioner Strauss Boyd.
Here.
Interim Public Services Director Sullivan.
Here.
I practice. Senior Planner Brazel. Planning Commission Clerk Speets. Here.
And the next is our poll for the next meeting, which would be May 1st. Yes, yes. And we will meet again on May 1st as we have a quorum. Approval of the minutes for April 3rd. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll move.
Yes.
Just one indulgement. We actually we were going to talk to the planning commission tonight about canceling the May 1st meeting and then actually having the meeting on May 15th.
Okay.
This would also allow for our new planning commissioner, Sarah Wood, to only miss tonight's meeting. And she's not available on the 1st because she's in that transition of getting used to having her Wednesday evenings taken up by planning commission meetings. So that's why I was conferring with Medi real quick on. So if you wouldn't do your roll poll again, it would be May 15th here, and we would cancel the May 1st one.
Next meeting will be on May 15th. Can I have a show of hands of the people that can make it?
I'll be at the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
We have a quorum and we'll meet again on May 15th. Approval of minutes for April 3rd. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, moved and seconded. Additions, corrections, changes? None? Call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Public comment and concerns? None. Public hearing? None. All continuing business? None. New business? Base community development element.
I'm going to be very brief. I'm going to actually turn this over to Medi Brazel, who's our acting senior planner, who will walk you through kind of the first parts of the comp plan. We'll be bringing due to the community development element being a significant chapter, with I think probably 80 to 90 pages in total, touching on a variety of subjects. We're going to bring it to the planning commission and the city council in smaller chunks. So this is just kind of chunk 1 of 3. And so we'll bring you just those chunks so you can focus on those individual chunks. So tonight we'll be focused on kind of the background data, annexation areas, and human property rights. Then on May 15th, we'll be bringing the housing element by itself. It's a pretty heavy duty one. And then we'll be bringing economic and development patterns to the next planning commission meeting after that.
All right, so bear with me. I am losing my voice. So in your packet, I provided 2 different versions. Mind you, they are titled incorrectly because one is the easy read version. That's the one without the edits. So it made it kind of more readable for, I hope, more readable for you. The second version is the edited version where you can see what has been striked out and what has been added. In this portion of the Phase 1 community development, we took 4 different sections: the introduction, the potential annexation area, the background information, and then, or the existing conditions, excuse me, and the property rights. In the introduction and the existing conditions, it was really just updating what had already been there. If you notice in the existing conditions, there have been some very positive changes for the city, mainly in like income, in education, in just taxable income. Our housing stock has gotten better. So I feel like the existing conditions have really shown a positive increase since in the last 10 years since we did this last. The potential annexation areas, the main changes that were in this section were, excuse me, removing Tahala as one of our potential annexation areas, and removing, what was the other one? Okay.
Between Dahl and.
Yeah, the area, like rhododendron area. Yeah, so removing rhododendron area. So that was the main change in this area. Not much else changed. There are a few of the numbers that are within the potential annexation areas that need to still be updated, the housing units and stuff. We're trying to get that from, I think, PSRC. Oh, okay, from our buildable lands analysis. So some of those numbers are incorrect, but we'll have kind of an update for you on that one at a later date. The last section is the property rights. We did add quite a few goals, and we added a new goal and then quite a few policies in this section. We thought that the previous section was kind of lacking. We wanted to kind of put in there what we do every day with people's property rights so that people are aware that, this is kind of what we look at every day, especially when we review permits, especially the goal CD12. It's how we allow people to participate in local decision making. We wanted to expand on those so that people were aware of that. For the most part, that is everything that was changed in this section. I will pass it back to you, and if you have any questions for me regarding these changes, feel free.
So Tahala is not in our area. Was it ever?
It was in the last draft.
It was. Pierce County has now designated it as an incorporation area. So Pierce County assumes that they will eventually incorporate into their own city. So. What? Go for it.
So what's shown in the last plan is not that it was actually affiliated with the city as an annexation area, but an annexation area that we were proposing to add. And then when the county made it a potential incorporation area, we dropped it from our potential or areas that we were looking to add to our identified annexation area. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You have more history with that one.
Okay, I just have one question on the taxable income slide. That was the only part that I had. It was 881 for our city. I was trying to figure out if that was like per person or what the number actually meant.
The 881, so that is 881 million. That is what our revenue was from taxable income.
Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, seems really like $881. I was like trying to figure out what that meant. So that's the only thing that I was wondering. Otherwise, everything else made sense.
Yeah, I want to verify that it's, oh, sorry, taxable retail sales. So that's what we get from retail sales. Oh. That is what we tax against
Yes.
for our retail sales. So that's the amount of retail sales that we can tax against.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. No, I had it, I just didn't.
No, that was just the one number that I didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, there was one more I just remembered.
Yeah.
Okay, it was around the same thing, but it was the sales, what do they call it? Leakage? It wasn't leakage. It was another word.
Yeah.
Yeah, retail leakage. So the one that where it says, so I was just trying to make sure that like when it showed the leakage, that was like people in Bonney Lake using other cities to shop for those things or other people coming to Bonney Lake to shop for those things. I can't remember which way it was.
Which graph are you actually?
The leakage one, let me find the,
Page 219, dash 19, dot 11.
yeah, that one. Dash 19.
Okay, so
Oh, that one.
this one is a bit interesting. So there's a line on that graph.
Mhm.
That is where we are meeting demand.
Oh, okay.
Anything less than that are the areas where Bonney Lake is not meeting the demand.
Okay.
And anything over is where we are surplus at meeting the demand, which I believe one of those is big box stores of like
That-
Costco.
That's what I was wondering. It seemed like it was going that way, but when I was reading it, it sounded like it was going the other way. So I was like, just a minute.
Yeah, so
okay.
those longer ones are where people are coming into our city and buying from.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
Okay.
I was like looking at the map and thinking that, but then I was reading it and I thought the other way. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
verify. Thanks.
Yeah, I was, so when I was looking at it, I was kind of blown away by the, so it looks like, Bonnie Lake draws like about 100,000 people, from the surrounding areas. And, but the thing that really blew me away was that Sumner beat us on the taxable retail sales. And I really had to think about that because I thought, they don't have, yeah, cars. That's what,
Mhm.
it took me a while. And I was like, okay, boy, Bonnie Lake could really use a car dealership or two up here.
Dealership is also the RV dealership out on 410, or not 410, 167 as you leave Sumner.
Okay.
That when you go by, and there's a Peterbilt out there as well, and a Caterpillar.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
There's also a RV space right down there off of East Valley. As you just on the edge of that industrial area. I don't know if that's still Sumner, but they do a good business there as well.
Yeah, so we're doing it like little bits of things, and they're doing it like big chunks.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, sure is a lot of good information in this. Nice stuff to know.
Thank you.
Actually, I was more surprised about when you were talking about it, that taxable revenues,
Mhm.
that we beat like Mill Creek.
Mhm.
And I think of Mill Creek as a pretty prosperous, busy kind of area, but yeah, that was one of the surprises in that graph that I was really, Covington, I kind of get, Lake Stevens, kind of, but Mill Creek, I was like, wow.
Yeah, but that's how many people are shopping and buying. So that's the total sales that are coming out of it. Not
Right.
Value of the incomes in.
No, understood, but I mean, having been to Mill Creek, I have some friends up there, it's a pretty lively space and lots of out to eat places, gyms, I mean, you name it, kind of like, boutique, Pilates and things like that. So that's why I was like, I look at this and I was like, wow, we beat these guys for revenue. So
Do they have a Costco?
I don't believe they do. I don't believe so.
Yeah, in the data, I don't know if we show it in here, you can see the jump when Costco came in.
Mhm.
I think it is in here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, figure 214, if you look from,
I don't remember.
2018 is when Costco came in. So you can see that it went from 531, 2017 to 644 the next year.
Huh.
So it went up almost 100, $100 million that year.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think it looks great. Those were my two questions. I don't know. Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah.
Is there anything else for questions? Now, does this go forward to the council now or later?
So we'll be bringing it to city council piecemeal, similar to what we are doing with you. It's the community development element in the comprehensive plan is very overwhelming, especially with the amount of information that's in there.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to kind of make it a little bit more readable.
Yeah.
At this time. So we're bringing it piecemeal. So next city council will be presenting this as well. And then again, on May 15th, we'll be coming in with the second portion of the community development, which is the housing element.
So I have a question on the housing element.
Yeah.
Is it kind of, because we talked about the housing element last time, is that kind of like in conjunction with the part we're gonna see next month? Like
What did you
incorporating
talk
that?
about last time? Growth targets. Oh, okay.
Or is that totally separate?
It's all kind of touches together with the growth targets, but the housing element is something new that is required by Washington State, and they are requiring quite a bit of information that we did not have in our comprehensive plan previously. So we're diligently working on that one. So you'll get some interesting little nuggets in that one.
Thanks. And thanks for the two different layouts. It really was nice to see
Yeah.
the changes, but also to have a really good readable copy.
So do we make a motion and send this forward or can you just send it forward?
I don't know if we necessarily have to make an official motion. I mean, we could do it by consent. If there's any concerns or, because we'll be having public hearings and having you make official motions then. This is just kind of more, consent that, you're not seeing any big issues or anything you'd like us to change. This one's pretty nominal. I think that might be different when we bring other elements or chunks to you. But it'd just be if there's any questions or things that we need to change or policies or wordsmithing. There are only one policy section, which is the property right. So, I just make sure you kind of review that and make sure that you're okay with those policy statements, and those things.
I did have one question, on page 43 of 79. So you've just got a great big section here that, talks about the millennial generation, starts out, and it seems like really good information. I kind of read it and I was thinking, I wonder why we're taking that part out, just to pare it down a little bit.
Page are we on?
Oh, the members of the millennial
43.
generation. Because it talks about the two largest populations in the past comprehensive plan. And those two are no longer the largest
makes sense.
populations in the conference. It's
Okay.
actually Generation Alpha and then the millennial generation that are now the largest populations in Bonney Lake.
Thank you.
She's millennial. Oh, just kidding. Debbie.
I just wanted to say thank you. I know how much effort it takes, and I'm sure the other members of the commission appreciate all the effort that you've put in and stepped up to this new role. And because when I read through it, I was like, so first off, the data set is free. I mean, that's always my philosophy with this. And there's just so much good information. Hopefully, it won't be taken and misconstrued as data often is, but the facts are what they are. And I also like the health benefit issue, where we are against, some of the larger populations of health issues and things. It also helps drive out some of those more outdoor activities, and things like that. So I just wanted to publicly thank you for the effort, the work that you put into it, because again, I know how much work this takes to put together. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, yeah, I would echo that too. Thank you.
Now,
And
do
but
we have a consensus?
I
We're in
do.
agreement? It's going on.
I have
for
one
council?
question. Well, just one. So I always thought we were gonna have public hearings on each element as we go, and it's not gonna be the case now? Okay.
Okay, we're under really truncated timeline.
But yeah, I think we should pass it on.
Brings us for the good of the order.
All right. So, Grant and Debbie were reappointed and confirmed by the city council, so yay, you have another 3 years. Sarah Wood was also appointed and confirmed to one of the vacant positions for the next 3 years. She's kind of getting used to being on planning commissions, and so we're in that transitional period. So I'm working with her to get a meeting set up, and I believe her first meeting will be May 15th. So it's kind of good that we canceled the May 1st one. City council was briefed last night on the growth alternatives. They also supported alternative 2, which was the same alternative that's supported by the planning commission. So we'll use that as kind of the basis for how we develop policies throughout the rest of the comprehensive plan. Third and final, I might not actually be at planning commissions that much longer. We are in the process of hiring an interim planning manager that will serve as the development services manager while I serve as the director. So in the May-June time, there'll be kind of a transition where it's probably going to be Medi and Laura, or Medi Kennedy, and whoever is selected as the new development services manager, at least on an interim basis, to serve out the remainder of the year. And then once my position is kind of figured out whether I'll stay in the directorship role or go back to development services manager, we'll go from there. So I'll still be around. I'll probably still be here on Wednesday nights. I still might pop in and sit in the room, but I'm going to really turn it over to the focus of the planning staff. It's just getting a little difficult to run a division and also be the director for the department. So unfair to my staff who have been sharing the bulk of this transition. So on the record, thank you. They have done more work than I could ask and taken a lion's share and tried to really be self-starters and going through forward. So just want to let you know that position's posted. It does close next on this Friday. We're hoping to make a decision before the end of the month and then have a person in the position by May 16th. So I'll still be around, but you might see different faces as we kind of transition through this period. And we're still looking for, and finally, if you know of anybody who wants to be on the planning commission, we are still looking for one planning commissioner. We're only at 6 right now, and we should be at 7. So with that, I can answer any questions.
With Sarah coming on, we're gonna have to do the, y'all's
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, I'll be getting with Sadie to get all that kind of scheduled for her.
Any questions of Jason? Way on to bigger and better things.
I'll still be around. I just might not be at every meeting.
Any correspondence? Commissioner comments? Take a minute after we have the meeting and we got to talk about t-shirts.
Oh,
Because they will be very important come summertime. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second? Moved, seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Closed. Thank you.
Grant, sorry about that. You know I was supposed to.